Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this broadcast of Hastings Community Television. And tonight we will be bringing you the matchup between the Henry Sibley Warriors and the Hill Murray girls soccer teams. And we just got done with the national anthem here, and we should have a good matchup here tonight as the Hill Murray Pioneers are currently in first place in the East Metro Division, and the Henry Sibley Warriors are currently sitting in third place. Owen, do you have any comments on this matchup to begin the evening?
Yeah, this should be a good one. Obviously, you're looking at two of the top teams here in the Metro East Conference, and I've been fortunate enough to watch a handful of Henry Sibley Warriors soccer games here, and I'm really excited to see what this team can do offensively. I think the key to the game here for the Warriors is going to be their midfielders getting the ball and distributing it up to their forwards. The player to watch for me in this one is going to be number 16, Marie Amadik, 3 goals and 2 assists on the season. Really one of the young stars here for this Warriors team.
All right, and the game begins right now, and it looks like it will be a Hill Murray ball to start. Out of bounds on that one. Back over to Henry Sibley. And that's going towards Lucy Zupfer, I believe. I might pronounce that one sophomore. Close on the edge there. And then at the goalpost, a little over for goal to start this game. So yeah.
Not the greatest opportunity there for Hill Murray, but I like the shot there from Ellie Runyon. I'm a big fan of just getting as many shots as you can on the net and not just trying to pick your spot, because when you hesitate taking your shots, you end up wasting so many of these opportunities to crash the net.
Absolutely, and that was one of them. But it's a good opportunity to start, and obviously Hill Murray is taking full advantage of their possession of the ball early in this game. And that one looks like it's going to nope. We got it inbounds by number 16 of the Henry Sibley Warriors, and that is Mary Amadik, sophomore forward for them.
Yeah, and like I said a minute ago, that is definitely the player to watch in this game.
Back in Hill Murray possession. Warriors making it complicated on their end of the field with defense there. And that one looks like it will roll out of bounds.
Yeah, I'd like to see more separation here from the Warriors defenders. You look at that play that happened just a second ago. There were so many players behind the line of scrimmage there, just kind of watching and playing herd ball.
Mm-hmm. Force them towards the edge there again on that 50-yard line. And it looks like they'll be Warriors possession. This is the first time they might be able to get it into the Pioneers defensive zone, but Sarah Lugger, with the possession, passing over to teammate number 14 there, Claire Lozano, junior at Hill Murray.
Yeah, that was a good closeout there by Emily Collins. I don't know if it's just because of the COVID-shortened season. There were some restrictions on how you could practice. I know early on in the season, there was a debate whether or not there's going to be a season, and we've seen so many players, forget some of the fundamentals this year, and it's good to see them upholding it here for the Warriors.
Right. And both of these teams had ties on their games on Tuesday night, and they are looking to score, because I think that was a big challenge for both of them in their ties. If I remember correctly, looking at it right here, so Hill Murray had a 1-1 tie against Hastings on Tuesday night, and Henry Sibley was against Matomita, and that was a 0-0 tie. So obviously low scoring games for both teams. So hopefully they can see a little more offense on both ends.
Yeah, you know, and unfortunately, that's some of the sacrifices we have to make for this season. Per MSHSL rules, there is no overtime, so games will just end in ties at the end of regulation, which is a little unfortunate. I wish, you know, maybe they could institute something like a shootout, but I think that explains why we've seen so many ties here in the Metro East. Most
Right.
teams have at least one, with the majority of them having 2 ties.
Mm-hmm. Yes, hopefully that will not be the result of tonight's game, and hopefully one of these teams will come out on top and not have to suffer another tie, which a season with, you know, a good amount of games ending in ties, like 3 or 4, is never enjoyable for everyone.
Well, I fear that we're destined for a tie here because you just placed the infamous announcer's jinx on it.
I probably did, man. You got me there. But let's see what happens. It's back in Pioneers' possession.
Good job, Sarah. Break loose, Green, break loose!
Boy, just great defense there from Stella Altier, you know, playing as a defenseman but moved up to midfield, you know, really one of the senior leaders on the team, and, you know, she really plays the game 2 ways.
Absolutely, and we just saw one of them there.
It's very hard to see, isn't it?
Ball in Pioneers' possession. Pass made to Runyon as they, yeah, that will definitely be heading back out of bounds. A missed opportunity there for the Warriors indeed.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what Stella Altier was thinking there. Maybe she just sailed it a little bit to the right there, just trying to get something going with those 2 premier forwards, Parnell and Marie Amadick.
Runyon with the ball again. And that again, going way out. Back-to-back kicks on opportunities to score, but again, the Warriors send it back into the end zone past the out-of-bounds line.
Yeah, I like being aggressive. I'll never fault a team for being aggressive there. You're trying to get it to one of your scorers there in Winkle Hockey, 2 goals on the season, but, you know, they were kind of running out of space, even if they did connect that pass there to try and
Moves up closer to the Warriors' defensive zone. And that runs play. And that looks like it is Emily Collins' possession. Now passing to number 17, Emily Parnell. Pioneers with just enough players on the end of the defensive zone to make sure that no one really advances there from the Warriors. Ball back in possession of Vargas. The sophomore middle forward for the Pioneers. Oop.
Yeah, a little collision there with Amadick and a member of Hail Murray, but I do think it was pretty incidental, so I'm glad the play continued there and we didn't get a premature whistle.
No, absolutely not. And heading back out of, oh, no, that's inbounds. Nice stop there by Torres. Mara Torres, the middle forward of the Henry Sibley Warriors, number 11.
Break through, Lance, break through!
Ooh, nice attempt there. Yeah, both of these teams have been keeping the ball mostly in the middle field for the past few minutes here, but now it looks like Hill Murray's got something going in the Warriors' defensive zone. Slowly keeping it in bounds. And now that was kicked out by Sarah Lugger, the forward senior for the Hill Murray Pioneers.
Yeah, you know, we haven't really seen too much issue when it comes to moving between both 30-yard lines, but when it comes to the lower third of both sides of the field, I mean, these teams have struggled to get something going here in the first 10 minutes.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens, if that changes right here or not with the Warriors. And now Vargas swiping the ball away. That is passed on to Runyon yet again, and now we got Lugger with the ball once again for Hill Murray.
Push it up now.
Was up for trying to keep possession. Unfortunately, could not there. And Wagner is taking possession for the Sibley Warriors. Back to Torres. And now Mackley. Torres keeping the ball in bounds there. It looks like we got a foul.
Here we go, Natalie.
Yeah, it looks like we'll have a free kick here, and when it's positioned, see where they put it here, at the 27-yard line. I mean, if you feel confident in the striking here, I believe of Marie Amadik, I mean, this could be a shot directly on net.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what happens here. And the kick. Nope. Good attempt, but well defended by the Hill Murray Pioneers.
Yeah, I believe that was kicked away by Runyon, and that's, again, going back to what I talked about a few minutes ago, solid fundamentals. You always want to clear the ball to the outside, so good for Hill Murray not to just let the ball stagnate there and allow the Warriors to have a potential rebound or maybe a second and third or fourth chances to put that in the net.
And it looks like we got a couple new Warrior players coming in right now. Number 4 for the Warriors, which is Marina Hull, the middle position sophomore for them. And then I think it was number 25 as well, Lily Lentier, a middle forward freshman for the Henry Sibley Warriors coming in. Looking at the sidelines, seeing who they are replacing. I believe Torres was one of them. I could be wrong. Nope, Torres is still in the game. Anyway, Hill Murray possession, bringing it back down their defensive end. Seeing what happens here. Coming back in position of Runyon. And that was defended well there by Emily Collins, the defensive middle end for Henry Sibley Warriors. Yeah, a lot of back and forth and a lot of out of bounds in this game so far in these first 15 minutes that we've seen here.
Yeah, and I don't want to place the announcer's jinx on it, but really with the Metro East Conference this year, we've seen so many balls go out of bounds, and I understand that's going to happen throughout the course of a soccer game, but I've seen so many throw-ins, and they throw it parallel down the line, and it just goes out of bounds. I don't know if it's the odd circumstances and the lack of practice, but we've seen a lot of this here in the Metro East.
For sure, and that's just being repeated here again tonight. Back in possession of the Warriors. Torres bringing it down the line. Vargas trying to stop her. Amadik heading and down. And whistle blown there. Looks like it's back in Hill Murray possession there.
Yeah, and on that one, I don't know if they just caught the midfielders sleeping, but if you're the Warriors, you know, Marie Amadik was carving her way through about 4 Pioneers defenders. You kind of wish there was maybe a midfielder on either flank to pass it off to there.
Of course. That would have been very beneficial for them. Now back into Murray possession, passing it over. And now that's in possession of Lugger. Passing back and forth, and we'll see what happens. And down that end, now around the 30-yard line. Vargas has it now at around the 13-yard line. Heading in, attempt. Good save by the goalie there for the Warriors.
Yeah, I believe that's the first shot on net here tonight for Hill Murray. That one coming from Liv Andrusic. And you just kind of wish you sailed it a little further to the left there. If you were trying to sneak it on that right side post, there wasn't a whole lot of room there to finagle a ball.
They did have a attempt earlier in the game that hit the goal post very high, but that one was definitely heading towards the net and looked like it could have gone in. But right to the goalie once again. And out of bounds once again by the Hill Murray Pioneers. Henry Sibley with possession here on the 40-some-yard line, 38-yard line.
And we'll have Amadik subbing out here, and that's something here with the Warriors. They like to get these long runs and get these long through passes to their forwards. So their forwards, Marie Amadik and Torres, do a lot of running. So you'll see them get subbed in and out very often throughout the game because they're going to need many breathers throughout the course of these two halves.
Absolutely. Especially with this back and forth possession that we're seeing here. Warriors haven't had an attempt at a goal in a few minutes here. We'll see if they can try to get something going right now as they have it in the end. But it looks like it will stay in Hill Murray possession.
Here we go, Green!
Runyon with the ball, passing it to Lugger. Now Zupfer coming in to assist. Lugger with the ball, bringing it down, and we're near the end zone there. Nice stop by the Warriors, but it will still remain Hill Murray ball as it was kicked out of bounds once again. It looks like we got two subs coming in for the Pioneers right now. Number 18. Molly Werner, the middle forward sophomore at Hill Murray, and number 5, Abigail Kavanaugh, the forward freshman for the Hill Murray Pioneers. Lugger with the ball, and looks like there was a penalty there. Whistle blown. Ball will remain in Hill Murray possession. Let's see what happens here. And we got number 16, Maya Geese, coming in to kick it.
So this essentially is going to be a corner kick. So it looks like Hill Murray is going to try to crash the net here as they come in.
Little shot a little bit. Whistle blown again. Looks like the Warriors ball on this one.
And I'm going to treat that as a corner kick. And the thing with a corner kick that I've seen a lot this year, I like it when they put it nice and low on the net. I know that there's a chance with the goaltender to come out and grab it, but when you try to put it a little too far on the opposite side or a little too far out, there's just so many variables that can stop the ball from getting on net.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw it there yet again, and back in the Warriors' possession. Passed along and kicked out of the end zone by Torres once again. Now we'll return to Hill Murray possession as they try to formulate something to get some offense going. And we got subs coming in again for the Warriors. Number 7, Stella, actually, forgive me. Danisa Verling is coming in, and then I think the other one was number 15, Erin Winkelhaig, coming in as well.
Yeah, I know it's still a scoreless game here, but this is a winning strategy for the Warriors. If they just keep this up, inevitably a goal is going to come. It's really incumbent on Hill Murray here to make the change.
Yeah, 2 defensive changes already for players within the first 18 minutes of the game for the Henry Sibley Warriors, while the Hill Murray Pioneers have only made 1 change with 2 different players coming in the first 18 minutes. So we'll see if that strategy does pay off for the Warriors soon enough. Lugger head in for the ball, trying to keep it in Murray possession. Ooh, and a nice save there by the goalie, Sydney Potter.
Yeah, that's the thing. When there's so few opportunities in a game, it's really easy for the goaltender to get into a malaise. But Potter, whether it's, she's also the goaltender for the hockey team as well. She's pretty darn good at that. But I think she has a 96 save percentage and like a .67 goals against this year. I mean, just absolutely elite. You just hate to see her get into a lull there, but I think that one really brought her alive.
Oh, absolutely, and that's probably one of the big reasons why Hill Murray has been able to remain in first place, even with a couple ties here this season, thanks to the goaltending of Potter.
Well, and you can really see for Hill Murray why they only score 1 goal a game and why they won those 3 games from the 17th to the 24th, 1-0 games. They are totally fine with settling the game down and just playing solid defense. So again, looks like Hill Murray's going to crash the net here. I'd like to see them place the ball a little bit lower towards the goal here.
Looks like they got it this time, and a save by Potter there. Lugger coming back for Hill Murray to try to possess it.
Dangerous pass there. You never want to pass it across the goal. But going back to that corner kick a minute ago, notice the difference.
Absolutely,
I mean, they didn't get a goal there, but when you sail it over the top, it's very hard to bring it back. But when you push it down low right there, I mean, they almost snuck one past Potter.
And that would have given that 1-0 advantage that they are seeking right now, as we are now 20 minutes into the first half.
The real question I have through the first half of this first half is, at halftime, are you and me going to go into that pirate boat over there behind the far side goal?
I don't know, man. I think that's in between the double headers that we do that, not in between halves.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been here a couple of times, but they've never allowed me on that boat just yet.
Well, we'll see. We still got a game to call here. Back into Hill Murray possession, and Henry Sibley Warriors have got the ball after that out-of-bounds kick by, I think that's Kavanaugh out there for the Hill Murray Warriors. Yep, that is.
And I got to say, I'm not just saying this because I'm on Hastings Community TV, but I love this stadium. It's one of my favorite stadiums to call a game from.
Oh, it's an absolutely gorgeous fall evening, and we get a nice view of the town right now along 55 and Highway 61. But of course, there's an excellent soccer game going on. I mean, I have to admit, the defense is very good here. I mean, that's the beneficial thing about a soccer game, and when you see these high, back and forth, and most of the game taking place between both 20-yard lines. And we've seen a lot of that tonight. I mean, obviously, just a few minutes ago, Hill Murray was really trying to get a goal in there a couple times, but obviously Potter was doing a well-done job with her goaltending. And now back into the Warriors' possession, and I believe that is, yes, that is it. Amadik is back in the game, it looks like.
Great shot there. That's the type of shot where we see this especially in girls soccer and especially at the high school level. There's not a lot of 6'7" goaltenders, so if you can place it in between, right under that crossbar, I mean, unless you're 6'5", you could play elite goaltending, but there's nothing you can do. Just you reach your hand up, and if it's above it, you got to watch a goal sail over your head.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that was a good attempt there, and back into, and Vargas has really been a go-getter every time the ball is coming into her possession this game, really trying to put some effort in just keeping that ball going towards the Warriors' defensive end, and looks like the Pioneers are going to be able to almost do that there, but Warriors come back in and try to swipe the ball back. Zupfer coming in to try to swipe that ball back for the Pioneers, and it looks like it's going to run out of bounds, and it is, nope, it's in. Only for a second.
Yeah, you talk about the play of Vargas. I'd really love to see these midfielders for the Pioneers, when they get on the correct side of the 50-yard line, to try to just kind of thread the needle with a through pass to Vargas, because whenever the ball is around here, good things tend to happen here for Hill Murray.
Absolutely, and we'll see what happens here. Warriors with the kick, number 10, Stella Altier, the middle defensive, senior for the Warriors. And it looks like it will be back in Pioneers' possession after that kick, and it is. And now number 18, Molly Warner, has the ball heading down the field. Looks like the Warriors kicked it out of bounds by number 13, Julia. I might butcher her name, and I apologize ahead of time. Tarns Koss. Yes, I believe that's correct.
Well, it's Julia Turinskas, and
Thank you for correcting me, Owen.
That was a great job at boxing out the forward and just halting all progress they had on that near side.
That indeed it was. All right, back in Pioneers' position. Who's up for passing it on to Lugger. And that just got through the feet of Ella Runyon. Almost fell back in possession of the Warriors, but Walker back with the ball. Kavanaugh coming in. Oh, and staying in Pioneers' possession. After that, it almost looked like Kavanaugh was going to get tripped there, but no whistle blown on that one.
That was a pretty good throw in there from the Pioneers. I don't know if it was just because, you know, you're practicing in your backyard this summer, not knowing if there's a season. Seems like the Metro East has really practiced their throw-ins. If you believe this, I think it was a Henry Sibley game earlier in the year. Now this wouldn't count as a goal, but I think it should. But we almost saw someone get a throw in into the net. It bounced off of the top crossbar, almost went in from a throw in on the sidelines.
Wow, that must have been very impressive. And that looks like it's going, oh, headbutts right onto the ball there. And the Warriors look like they might be able to, and Lugger's coming in for them. And Vargas won it yet again, but it looks like this one will remain in Hill Murray possession yet again after those bounce backs between so many different players from both the Pioneers and Warriors.
And I will say, you look at the crowd here, Hill Murray's traveled pretty well.
Yeah, especially given the circumstances for what we have to work under. And obviously, a good amount of the crowd is socially distanced, and hopefully there are more families tuning in to our broadcast tonight to see their team go at it.
And I don't even know where Hill Murray is, to be honest. Is it Maplewood?
Close to it, yeah.
Probably a pretty far drive over here.
Mm-hmm. Pioneers keeping the ball in their possession as it ends up in their defensive end, and now it will be a Warriors ball after that to bounce back. Looks like we got 13 minutes remaining in the first half here. Still a 0-0 game. A lot of, if you're just tuning in, we've had a lot of, you know, midfield play on this one. A few good attempts by both teams to get goals in, and the Warriors are going to try to capitalize on that right now as the ball is in their possession.
And we have Amara Torres checking into the game here for the Warriors. 2 goals on the season, looking to add a third here and try to break this scoreless game. And trust me, there's no shortage of ambient noise here from McNamara Stadium.
Absolutely not. You definitely get plenty of background noise from the highways here.
Boy, I tell you, the Metro East, there's some of the noisiest games you'll ever be at. I mean, Henry Sibley, they're currently undergoing construction to build a new aquatic center at their school.
Oh, yeah.
We were just up at Tartan. Well, I was just up at Tartan calling a game, and complete construction zone. I mean, it seems like every school, except for Hastings, and luckily they got the highway right here, is going under construction for something.
Well, yeah, this stadium's been here for years, and this used to be the hometown squad, and, you know, the high school used to be just down the road, and it's now the middle school where I was last week calling a swim meet between the Hastings and Henry Sibley.
Well, and I can't verify this right now, so if I get the information wrong, I apologize, but I was talking with somebody at KDWA a few months ago, and I believe during the summer, somebody drove their car on the field. It got crashed through one of the fences and ended up on the field. He was talking about it, but unfortunately I didn't get any extra information other than that.
Oh.
But how about that? That's a pretty far drop from the road.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I must have been very uncomfortable, and hopefully if that did happen, the person recovered from it well. Anyway, we're back into soccer game talk, and now the possession is in Hill Murray's hands, and they're about to do another kick in from the sides here. Pretty high kick there, and it looks like it went over the net, and will now be in the Warriors' possession after that one.
Yeah, I talked about getting the corner kicks lower, but you don't want it so low that it ends up out of bounds there.
Yeah, that one looked a little too high and just curved right over the net there.
Just a bit on the outside.
Absolutely, just like a curveball. Bob, you calling it. Kick in from Potter. Lugger grabbing it. Zupfer coming in, and it will be in the Warriors' possession still after that headbutt into the out-of-bounds line by Zupfer for Hill Murray. We got 10 minutes remaining in this half, Owen. Do you think one of these teams are going to be able to find the momentum to get a goal in, or do you think it will remain 0-0 by the end of the 10 minutes?
Boy, I'd like to be positive here, and hopefully I can set an announcer's jinx. But I don't know. This is just a really solid defensive battle. I don't know if in the next 10 minutes they're going to get it.
Absolutely. This, again, like we've been saying all afternoon here, that this is where we've seen most of the game at the midfield here. Kavanaugh coming in.
Great through pass there.
Oh, and Lugger tripping on her own feet there, almost having it in their possession, and it's coming back, and Zupfer kicking it for them.
But I was going to say, right there, it only takes one time. It just takes a couple of nice, quick, crisp passes and a nice through pass, and you have a breakaway. And, you know, listen, you know, I have a funny feeling this soccer game is not going to be a 7-6 game. So if you can just get on the board, I mean, you're probably sitting pretty.
Exactly. Again, like we said, both these teams had ties in their last games. They do not want to repeat that again tonight, and hopefully one of them will come out on top. And we will see here if that can happen for Hill Murray or the Henry Sibley Warriors. And that is going back in possession of the Warriors on that kick. Almost out of bounds, and it looks like it will be, and staying in Hill Murray possession after that one.
Because I got to tell you, there's nothing worse than a tie. You know, if you lose 5-0, okay, you got beat. You lost to the better team on the day. But a tie, I mean, nothing stings more than a tie.
Especially in soccer or football in that case.
Although I will say, I was on many losing lacrosse teams up at Park High School, just about 7 miles to the north, and I would have taken a tie in a heartbeat.
I would have done the same for baseball back in the day. Anyway, Vargas in possession for the Pioneers, and yeah, she's definitely got some momentum going there, and now it's coming back in possession by the Warriors on number 21, Sarah Wagner. Torres passing it up, and it looks like the Warriors got their momentum, and the kick out of bounds. Nice attempt there, though. Might have took a little early of a kick, but still a good attempt, and of course, with the clock coming down to the 7.5-minute mark for the first half. Obviously, if the players are paying attention to it, that pressure might be coming down on them as they want to try to do something before time runs out in this half.
Yeah, and that was a low percentage shot, but it's one you have to take. I mean, shots are really coming at a premium here, so I don't fault any team for being a little too picky and, you know, not exactly putting it on the mark.
No, not at all. And that's another thing, you know, both of these teams are two of the three highest scoring teams in the Metro East Conference this year. I mean, Hill Murray's leading with 17 points, and Henry Sibley with 14, tied for third, and Hastings currently sits at second with 16. So, you know, it's very impressive, their defensive, you know, in this game when you got two of the three top scoring teams in a conference going up against each other. Kick by the Warriors, and right through the goalie's hands there, and it will remain in Warriors' possession after that one.
Boy, that was great placement there. But going back to, you know, Hail Murray being one of the highest scoring teams in the conference, I mean, it's so funny because it's true, but it's also a little disingenuous because you look at 9 goals against Tartan, 13 goals against North St. Paul, and then every other game it's just 1 goal. It's great. When they're on, they're on.
Yeah, and this just speaks to the defenses of these teams, I guess, really, and just the defensive play of the entire league. When your first place team only has so many games that are more than one goal. And it looks like it will come back into the Pioneers' possession here.
Yeah, and the Warriors are no strangers to winning close games. That season opener on August 27th, I was there covering that one, a 2-1 win over South St. Paul. I mean, it was pretty much the same thing we were seeing here, except, you know, maybe 1 out of every 10 of these opportunities actually went in for a goal. But, you know, it's so tough trying to decipher soccer math. You know, oh, they beat this opponent, but they lost to this opponent, and you're looking at common opponents. It's just, you know, you can really rack your brain trying to make sense of it.
Vargas got the one out of bounds, could not get in possession by Kavanaugh, and now it's still staying in mid-game field, and now Vargas is regaining possession for the Pioneers. Kavanaugh will save, and now it is back into the Warriors' possession after that. That looked like it was slightly out of bounds with 1 foot.
Let's win it, Green.
Throw back in for the Warriors. And it might come back under Pioneers' ball after that one. And, yep, staying in their possession. See what's happening here. Vargas with the ball. Good kick, but just a little outside of the goal.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to use a basketball term here that's not exactly directly transferable to the game, but, you know, with 5 minutes to go here, you feel really solid in your defensive unit if you're Hail Murray. I'd almost like to see, like, a full-court press. Like, just for this next 5 minutes, just go all out, put as much pressure as you can when the ball's here in the zone for the Warriors. Maybe not so much right now that the ball's at midfield, but, you know, certainly 30 seconds ago, I would have tried something like that.
They might have a chance to do it again, or Henry Sibley might be able to do what you just said too, the Pioneers, but we will see, and it looks like it will stay in midfield right now. Warriors with the ball, going to try to do something. Torres passing along to her teammate. And another kick, that one a lot more outside than the last one we saw from the Pioneers, and now it looks like it will be back in their possession after the kick by the Warriors.
But look at those last 2 opportunities here for the Warriors. They go 1, 2. They're just looking for that third move. They get the first good pass. They get the second good chip pass, but it's just putting together that final finishing move. They're so close to actually executing something, you know, for a prime shot on net and hopefully a goal for their sake. But they're almost there.
Absolutely. Back into the Pioneers possession. We got 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Let's see if they can try to do something here in that time frame, and that one's definitely going out of bounds. Oh, nice kick there. Andruski with that one, keeping it in the Pioneers' possession only for a few extra seconds. Back to the Warriors. Vargas coming in, creating a bit of chaos between the players, and looks like we got a penalty on that one. Whistle blown, and we'll be back into the Pioneers' possession after that.
Yeah, just a second ago, that almost was the perfect play. You know, you just assume the ball's going to go out of bounds, but when it's just kind of drawing on like that, putting on the pressure, I mean, they could have had a throw in there at about the 20-yard line.
Just a little over 2 minutes to go. We're at 2 minutes and 50 seconds here in the first half, and a good kick in, and we'll see if we can get another whistle blown. Now this one's going into possession of the Warriors, and it looks like number 20 for the Pioneers. Emily Bixby.
Kind of looked like a wrestling match was breaking out there. They were throwing out the single leg sweep to try to take down a forward.
Kick by Potter, and a nice headbutt there by Runyon.
You know, and I don't know if you know this, and I don't have the study to, you know, off the top of my memory here, but soccer has the second most concussions for a high school sport, right behind football, which you wouldn't really think of. But, you know, when you start thinking about all these headers and 2 players go up for a header and they collide, and, you know, that can't feel good right there with the header. So I think it might surprise some people, but soccer's actually really concussion
especially if we look at this state being the state of hockey. You would think hockey might come up number 2, at least in our own state statistics, but that might be a national poll you're referring to. And now we got 1 minute 40 seconds left in the first half. It looks like this might just stay at the midfield for the rest of the time that we have in the first half, but I could be wrong, especially when Vargas now has possession for the Pioneers, passing along to her teammate. And now the Pioneers are definitely making a drive, and nice save there by Potter.
Well, not quite yet here.
Looks like the Warriors just kicked that out of bounds, and we're down to the final minute.
And that's the importance of having soft hands. You know, it's great to, number one, you want to stop the ball from getting out of the net, but you really want to have soft hands there so that you can catch the ball and not allow a rebound opportunity like that, because that potentially could have been disastrous for the Warriors.
It looks like we got 2 balls in play here. Someone's going to grab one of them out. 54 seconds to go. Kick by Potter. Vargas coming in for that one for the Pioneers.
Might be time for your best Hail Mary play here.
We'll see. I mean, you only got 30 seconds to go in the half. And you're already at midfield, and the defense is just on par with. They both these teams are matching each other up in defense, and we just saw it right there. Whistle blown, staying in Pioneers' possession. Only got about 20 seconds to go, and they're going to make a run for it here, folks. We'll see what happens.
3 seconds, let's go. Spread it through, Ella. 4. Hit it.
Kick outside. And that will end the first half here in this game between the Henry Sibley Warriors and Hill Mary Pioneers. At the end of one half, we are at 0-0. Quite a defensive game right now. Nothing else going on. There have been a few good attempts of scoring, but honestly, nothing solid yet. We will see if that changes up here in the second half, and that will resume in 10 minutes.
All right.
And welcome back to the matchup between the Hill Murray Pioneers and Henry Sibley Warriors for this girls soccer game here on the evening of Friday, October 3rd. I think I got the date wrong earlier, or 2nd. Yeah, no, it's the 2nd. And we are here in Hastings, Minnesota for Hastings Community Television. I am your play-by-play commentator, Theodore Tolson. With me is Owen Ely on color commentary for the evening. Anyway, so that first half, Owen, complete defense.
Yeah, I mean there's no other way to put it. I mean, that's pretty apt. I mean, just complete defense. I mean, they were trying something on both sides, but really, you know, opportunities were pretty far and few between. Here we'll take a look at the Metro East Conference standings. Here you can see both these teams in the top 3. Hill Murray 5-1-2, Henry Sibley 4-2-2. They're tied points-wise with their rivals Sibley with 14. But, you know, it's a little weird, you know, with some games getting canceled because of, you know, everything going on in this country right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the standings don't exactly match up there, so it'll be interesting, you know, to see how the QRF works and things like this.
Right, and both teams obviously finishing in ties in their last games, and they're hoping not to repeat the same thing here tonight against each other. We are about to resume here for the next half for you, and we will see what happens and who starts the ball with possession. Warriors already out on the field. Pioneers about ready to head out here soon.
Well, and I have a feeling it's only going to get colder here as the sun starts to set.
Oh, absolutely. It's supposed to get down to the 20s in some areas of the state tonight.
You know, and that's something that to consider here, because we see this a lot in football, but now that soccer is, you know, getting played a little bit later, a lot of players think they don't have to drink water because they're not exactly sweating because it's getting cool out, but that's where we really see a lot of players start to cramp because they cut down on their water consumption just because, well, it's 35 degrees, I'm not sweating. But, you know, that's really something to watch here. You got to keep these players really well hydrated.
Oh,
otherwise,
absolutely.
You know, you could have Amara Torres, you know, out for, you know, the rest of the game just because you're mismanaging your water consumption.
Well, let's definitely hope that doesn't happen as the teams obviously switch sides now that it's the second half. The Pioneers will be down on the, let's see, that's the east side of the defensive zone, and then the Warriors will now be on the west side of the defensive zone here as we start to begin the second half. And the Warriors look like they'll be kicking this ball off.
Well, and luckily there's no wind here, so that's a really big thing. Kicking into the wind is so hard, especially in high school soccer. So, you know, the wind being stagnant here, although, you know, for maybe the next 15 minutes, the sun is going to be directly in the eyes of Hill Murray here, so that's going to be
absolutely.
a real clear-cut disadvantage.
That's probably going to be the challenge of this game now, is just sunlight and going right into the player's eyes. And that one really just hit the stands there. I think that was number 17 for the Warriors, Natalie Parnell. All right, and now we are back in possession, and that is the, and that's out by the Pioneers. Looks like we had more people coming into attendance in this game in between the halves here. Still keeping their distance for the most part.
Well, we even had some kids watching up from on the highway. They were watching up from the sidewalks.
That too.
I'd have to imagine that's a pretty good vantage point up there.
You see anyone on the pirate ship?
What, you and me in about 40 minutes?
Well, let's see what this game does, and then we'll go pretend like we're on the sails, man. Back in Hill Murray possession, Pioneers trying to figure out stuff, and here is where we start to begin to see if that sun is going to play effect into the player's eyes. Good attempt and nice save there by Potter. Warriors regain possession on this one. Torres with the ball. Out of bounds by the Warriors yet again.
First two green. Way to go, Lily! Dig in, Maya!
Pioneers regaining possession after that play there. Torres coming in, causing some trouble yet again for the Warriors. Heading towards the end zone. Pioneers coming up with real good defense there. It looks like the majority of their players are in their own defensive end, I should say, with only a few remaining at midfield.
Yeah, and they did a pretty good job there with spacing as well. You didn't really see any players get bunched up, which tends to happen sometimes there in the defensive zone.
And the kick back in. And a good save there yet again by the Pioneers. And that was goaltender Natalie Humbert.
Yeah, and don't underestimate how tough that was for Humbert trying to catch that with the sun coming in and the odd angle of the ball.
That is definitely the disadvantage here for the rest of this evening. We'll see if that comes into effect, but highly unlikely in the next game, as it'll be starting after 7 p.m. Out of bounds yet again by the Pioneers. Coming back in. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot more different players out there for the Pioneers right now in the second half, and those who were out there in the first, aside from the likes of Vargas, and it looks like Wugger as well, are back out there. Oh, that was a close.
Wow, I love the boldness there of Sarah Wagner. I mean, you know that the goaltender is going to have a tough time tracking that. That one is perfectly placed, and you add on top the slip there. I mean, I love that move there from the Warriors.
Absolutely. Coming back into the Warriors' defensive end, and the Pioneers have possession, and it looks like the Warriors are going to do their best to stop them there, and heading out of bounds by the Warriors yet again, and that will now be Pioneers' ball in the Warriors' defensive end. This is, again, another spot where we're going to see the sun really play effect into the players' eyes. Looks like a club might be able to block it out there for them soon, but we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, shout out there to the defensive box out there from Ellie Orpin.
Again, out of bounds by the Warriors, staying in possession with the Pioneers.
And I like those two putouts there. I like not even trying to send the ball downfield. Just don't even don't even give Hill Murray the opportunity. Just keep putting it out of bounds.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what keeps happening here. This is the third time in a row for the Warriors, and they might be able to get possession down in their opponent's end of the defensive end. Yeah, we'll go with that. And that one goes right into the stands, out of bounds by the Pioneers. Warriors ball. They have the advantage again with the sun not facing their eyes as they try to head into that defensive end for the Pioneers. Stopped there by Runyon, and now we have Zupfer coming in to take the ball over to the Warriors' end of the goal.
Backside. Yes.
Vargas coming in for the swipe, and now it will remain in the Warriors' possession after that kick into out of bounds.
And that's what I said through the first half. I mean, they'll make, a couple of really good plays, but it's just the second or third link of it there. That was a great through pass to Torres, but, just trying to center the ball there kind of got interrupted, excuse me.
Yeah, we're only 7 minutes into this second half, I should say, and we're seeing a lot of the same stuff we were seeing in the first half. A lot of kicks out of bounds to make sure, momentum doesn't get caught for one team or another to score a goal. And again, a lot of midfield play so far.
So you're telling me that neither team's coaches tuned in to Hastings Community TV's broadcast and listened to my advice?
Well, I think they got more important things to do right now. No offense, Owen.
You might be right there.
Yes. Warriors remaining in possession. Pioneers definitely trying to get that ball back for themselves. Good kick by Vargas, back into the midfield. We'll see if the Warriors can reclaim the ball. Nice steal there. By Parnell.
Yeah, Henry Sibley's been really good today on 50-50 balls. They're really winning the majority of them.
I would agree, and Torres is back in possession with the ball for the Warriors right now. Good stop there by number 15 for the Pioneers, I should say, Rymel. Mason Rymel. It may be because we're just right in behind them, but it definitely sounds like the Hill Murray crowd is more into this game than the Warriors crowd. But then again, we are right next to them now. The Henry Sibley Warriors crowd is on the other side of the field from us.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say Henry Sibley's probably pretty into it. They generally travel pretty well to away games, and obviously got a decent contingent over there on the far sides.
Of course, with guidance to what we have to do within COVID-19 right now. And if they are not here, hopefully they're watching our broadcast tonight to see their team play this evening. Pioneers ball here. Looks like we're going to do a corner kick yet again.
And a little different strategy here. They're a little closer. Before, you'd notice in some of these corner kicks, they would crash in from pretty far out. They're still going to crash in here.
Pioneers are holding position, but, they got all the way back to midfield on that one. This one looks like it's going out, and this will now be the Pioneers ball still.
And I think this accounts for probably the low score for Hill Murray, but I really appreciate their ability to move the ball backwards. They don't try to thread risky passes forward. They're content with working their way around the edge and passing it back and just kind of maintaining possession.
Yeah, they definitely have a good strategy to that, and we're not seeing that as much with the Warriors. They're definitely trying to make more pushes forward when they have the ball going into the Pioneers' defensive end. But yeah, sometimes, especially with soccer, you just got to pass backwards instead of forwards just to hold possession. Warriors throwing back in. Looks like, oh, we had a whistle blown. Remains Warriors ball.
And we had a handful of players sub out here for the Warriors. The only one I saw definitively that came in was Lily Leitner, the 9th grader.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll see what happens with that there. And the kick back in from Potter. Good pass back into the midfield. Vargas trying to come in and steal it. Torres misses the pass there. Back into Pioneers' possession. Warriors with good momentum on that, and a good stop there by Parnell.
And I appreciate the referees being consistent and not stopping and blowing a premature whistle just because there's some incidental contact. Great chance there from Amadik.
Sorry, that was not Parnell. That was Natalie Humbert. We both have the same first name. My mistake there on the goaltending. Ball back and forth there on that end, and we'll see. And that now becomes the Warriors' ball after that kick.
Well, something I'd really like to see here in the last 25 minutes. I don't know if they're saving her or maybe if there's something else going on, but I'd really like to see more of Winkle hockey. We haven't seen her a lot in this game, but
no,
obviously a very crucial part of this Warriors offensive attack.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early in this half in a way. We've only got 13 minutes coming in now. 27 minutes left to go. We will see what happens. And obviously, I feel like if in the last 15 minutes, we'll decide this game at this point.
Well, and something you have to consider right now, too, is you have Amadik, and I think you might have Torres out on the field. Like I said, they take constant subs. So with 27, you know, I wonder when they pull him out and how early they bring him back. Maybe you take him out with 20 to go and bring him back with like 12 for that final push.
Yeah, we'll see. And now Vargas, one of the crucial players for the Hill Murray Pioneers, taking her break. They might do the same strategy here with Hill Murray and bring one of their more crucial players back in the game later, but we will see it happens here. It looks like a foul push there for the Warriors, and now it's back in Pioneers' possession. That remains in Hill Murray possession after that push there by number 5, Kavanaugh. 26 minutes left to go in the second half. Ball back in play, and it looks like number 50, Sarah Lugger, trying to get it back for Hill Murray. Torres kicking it back in right into the teeth of the defense for Hill Murray. Out of bounds once again. Pioneers throwing back in. Running with the ball, passing it over to Lugger. Good kick, and a nice stop there by Sydney Potter on the goaltender.
Boy, that was a great shot there from Luger, and you know that's the sweet zone I was talking about. That was, you know, Potter could barely get her fingertips on that, just a couple of inches higher. Easier said than done to place it there, but you know that's the zone where no goaltender here in girls high school hockey is going to be able to stop it.
Soccer?
Oh, soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer. Excuse me.
A little too early for hockey season.
Weather-wise, you wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah, honestly, tonight. All right.
So we'll have Wagner and Leitner checking out here for Henry Sibley.
Placements coming in, ball starting back in, and the Warriors will throw back into the ball with in their possession. And throw right to Runyon there. The kick looks like it will be way out of bounds there, and that was done by Kavanaugh, I believe. Yes, Abby Kavanaugh.
And there on the near side at the 25 going to the 30 there was Winkle Hockey, so we're seeing her back in the game.
That's it, Molly.
Ball in Pioneers' possession. Yeah, the Pioneers have definitely gotten the ball down more in the Warriors' end zone, but again, they're just falling short with the defense that they have to deal with from the Warriors on this one.
Yeah, well, you know, you could say the Warriors were kind of winning time of possession in the first half and that it's inversed here in the second. But that's the brilliance of a scoreless game, too, is that, you know, if the Warriors come out and score a quick goal, then none of that matters.
Absolutely not. And we will see what happens here. And the ball is being passed over to number 18 for the Pioneers, Molly Warner. Torres coming up with the ball for the Warriors, and a little overshot there. Now coming into position of Blaney for the Pioneers. Kavanaugh with the ball. Over to Warner. Brings it back to Blaney. And the Pioneers are gonna, nope, that doesn't look like they'll be able to make a good push there with the amount of defenders over there on there. Do you think they're gonna have another corner kick here now?
It's tough to tell. Looks like it.
Yeah, it definitely does look like it now. And who do we got? I think it looks like Blaney's coming into. Nope, no. I'm sorry. Maya Geese coming in to kick that one in from the corner.
Same strategy as before. Put it down low and crash in here for the Pioneers.
You know, looks like they almost had it. Good kick by Geese, but did not follow through on her teammate Senavarnian. Another corner kick. Shot at redemption there for the Pioneers.
Well, you almost wish this happens here because you get another chance to make some corrections here right after.
This one a little further over as it almost goes into the other end of the end zone. It looks like Luger has the ball now. Torres trying to keep the ball in possession for the Warriors.
And just a second ago, that was a great defensive header there by Audrey Parnell to stop the center cross.
Absolutely. Warriors reclaiming possession of the ball after a few minutes there in their own end zone. Now it's time to see if the Pioneers will, and they will, get the ball back down there. Ooh, and sideways kick there by the Pioneers, and Kavanaugh definitely didn't look like she would have a chance at catching that before rolling out of bounds. Still a good run there, just lost.
Yeah, outside of that shot that nearly went over the outstretched fingertips of Potter, that's probably the second best opportunity here in the second half for Hill Murray.
Absolutely. We'll see if that happens again, and here's another corner kick, yes.
Third time's a charm.
Not quite. Geese got down out on that one after the corner kick. Yeah, we only got 20 minutes left now in the second half, in this game overall. And yeah, the Warriors have definitely not had as many chances as they did last half to get the ball down. And now with the ball heading towards Torres, she's trying her hardest to get it back out of bounds. And 4 defensive people for the Pioneers on Torres there. Nice stop there by Humbert for the Pioneers.
Boy, Humbert's been lucky on a couple of these stops, just with them bouncing right off of her gloves and back into the field to play.
Absolutely. Kavanaugh making a hustle down to try to get possession of the ball for the Pioneers, and the Warriors are able to hold their ground, but Kavanaugh coming back in, kicked out of bounds by the Warriors, and it should remain in Pioneers' ball. If not, it is the Warriors' ball, obviously.
Yeah, Collins came in just a little bit too hot there. You just kind of maybe put on some pressure and hope that you don't touch the ball there and give them another corner kick.
Absolutely.
And we can see down there are some people in the pirate boat.
That there are.
Or maybe that's just my perception. I think
actually, no, that might be your perception. Although it looks like the players for the next game are starting to warm up on the sidelines there. Maybe they will go on the pirate boat and do some warm-ups, but we will see what happens here. And the Warriors really gaining momentum on that push. Torres gets the ball here from her teammate, and they're making a drive down. Let the Pioneers make a good stop.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one.
I'm not either. That looked like it could have been either or. Remains the Warriors' ball for the time being, but again, a lot more defenders down there for the Pioneers than there are Warriors players.
That would have been a really great opportunity here for the Warriors to take a play out of Hill Murray's book and just learn how to pass the ball back and not just try to be so forceful with bringing the ball down the field. Just have a little more finesse and pass it around and try to find an open lane.
Especially with more of your players down in the midfield instead of within the opponent's defensive end.
I mean, there's just so many open players for the Warriors on the other side just going, hey, I'm here. I'm wide open for a pass.
Well, right now the sun is behind the clouds, so the Pioneers have an advantage now. It's practically level playing field, and the lights are coming on here. Torres with the ball, Pioneers coming in to try to swipe it back into their end. Bridget Blaney coming in. Kavanaugh trying to swipe it back for the Pioneers. Blaney running right there. Kavanaugh again trying to mess up them. Runyon trying to throw it back into the Pioneers, and Kavanaugh slipped on that one. Will it be the Warriors' ball or the Pioneers? Definitely Pioneers on that one. Couldn't tell if there was a foul made there or not, or what happened.
Yeah, you saw Kavanaugh take a little bit of a tumble there. Might have been a shoulder to her shoulder to try to get around the defender.
We're now coming down to the 15-minute mark of the second half and the final 15 minutes of this game. This could be another tie for both teams, looking at how things are right now.
Yeah, so now it's time for me to ask you, do you think that they're going to score here in the next 15 minutes?
If anyone looks like they could, it's probably Hill Murray, just because of their passing game backwards and trying to get momentum through that. We will see here on this somewhat corner kick right to the goaltender Potter, and she will throw it back down. And I could be wrong. It could be the Warriors. This could be what they need to get their first goal, and the ball is to Torres, and now back in Pioneer possession, just like that. Runyon kicking down. Kavanaugh trying her hardest to beat out the Warriors. And it remains Pioneers ball just after that.
Yeah, if I had to guess, Ellie Orpin's probably also a hockey player because you could really see a lot of the skills on the ice there, just boxing out and giving a little bit of a hip check there to the impending forward.
Oh, absolutely. Warriors with the ball again, trying to make a run back down into the Pioneers' defensive end. Torres with the ball.
Good work. Way to get in there.
That looked like a miscommunication there between teammates on who was going to have possession of the ball, but Warriors recovering from that very quickly. Now it looks like they're trying to do the backwards passing game that the Pioneers have been owning up to all night, and it remains in their possession after that play.
Yeah, I was going to say a second ago when Winklehocki was carrying the ball up, it was like a 1-on-5. I like how she just cut back, turned around, and fired it back to her midfielders who were crashing in instead of, we've seen it all game where they just try to carry it up as far as they can on these runs, and then you just kind of box yourself into a corner where you can't really thread the needle with a pass.
Vargas coming back in for the Hill Mary Pioneers, and this could be the difference maker in their game tonight. 13.5 minutes left to go in the game. Pioneers with possession. That one's out of bounds, coming back into the Warriors' possession after that one. Getting midfield back and forth right here as we're entering the last 12 minutes of this game.
It kind of makes me wonder with the last maybe 5 to 7 minutes we've seen here from Hill Murray. I mean, how would this offense have looked when it comes to their finishing ability if Vargas had been in the game just with all these runs they've been on?
Yeah, it could have been a difference maker in this game and made it 1-0 right now. Vargas was the only one who made a goal in the last game for the Pioneers on Tuesday night in their tie. So she could be the difference maker again here tonight for the Pioneers as the ball remains in their possession, and we will likely see another corner kick once again here.
Well, I've brought this up, so this game is going to end in a tie if it remains scoreless. But if we, the people, get the mandate of the masses and start chanting for a shootout, do you think we can overturn the MSHSL on this one?
Unfortunately, we don't have that power. We're just broadcasters.
Oh, we can start a chant. We can try to, get a shootout going here.
I mean, it would be nice to see something like that, but at the same time, and that ball, ooh, just over the goal. A good attempt there by the Pioneers, but a little too much oomph on that one. Potter kicking it back in for the Warriors. And we'll see if they can try to make a momentum on this one. And they may not. Luger taking the ball there. Torres kicking it down there. Blaney passing it down to Kavanaugh. Being pushed back in the corner by the Warriors, and it is a Warriors ball.
Looks like we'll get a free kick here from Emily Collins.
Ten minutes to go. It looks like number 7, Denise Vierling, is in the game now for the Warriors. Looks like there's definitely going to be a whistle down on that one. Oh, and we got some.
That was a little bit of a shove there from Amadik.
Yeah, It definitely was, and I think it was on number 6, Zupfer, of the Pioneers. That could be giving some momentum to both teams now after a little tumble.
I'm surprised there wasn't maybe a yellow card on that one.
No, that's a big surprise. Good kick by the Warriors, but that one will be going out of bounds on them. We got 9 minutes left to go. Again, the theme of this game is defense, 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 keeping everything in the middle of the field. I think when it comes down to it, it might be the Pioneers who had more attempts to get scores, score some goals, especially here in the second half. But we'll see if the Warriors will try to change the momentum as the sun comes back out and giving the players a disadvantage.
Well, and that shot from Laney Pick, that was probably the first shot on net for the Warriors in, gosh, I don't know, 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think it was like 12 to 15 or more, honestly. It's been a while. Luger with the ball for the Pioneers, going to try to gain momentum for her team. And it will now be the Warriors' ball as that one gets kicked out. And Torres is back in the game for the Warriors now. That could be a difference maker for them as well. Kavanaugh with the ball now for the Pioneers.
Break loose, break loose.
Runyon burning it down, and now Blaney coming in to try to help. Vargas has the ball now for the Pioneers. This could really be a difference maker for them, folks. And it looks like it will be out of bounds by the Pioneers.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Warriors couldn't do anything with those 2 nice steals there from Audrey Parnell. She had 2 in about the span of 10 seconds and just couldn't really get anything going there from the 30 to 40 yard line over there in the Pioneers zone.
Well, we'll see if they can try to do that here again, but it looks like the Pioneers might be able to get this ball back in their possession. Luger coming in, and now it is Kate Olsen with the ball. Overshot there. Running into Vargas. Back to Olsen. Again with the backwards passing game, it's really happening there. Zupfer with the ball, and now Luger trying to get it back, and now it's heading back into Warriors possession. We now have 6 minutes remaining in this one.
Man, this has to be a little frustrating for Henry Sibley. You're playing exactly the same game you did in the first half that was so successful, but it's so tough when it's incumbent on the other team to make the adjustment to your time of possession, and now you're sitting here and you don't really have any extended time to talk it over with your team. You just got to keep playing these final 6 minutes, and I don't really know what they need to change here other than stringing together some more passes and maintaining possession in the offensive zone.
Absolutely, and we'll see what happens here. Possession now with Kavanaugh for the Pioneers. Olsen has the ball, passing it over. And the shot, it's the goal post, a little too high.
Well, if she's on this field about, well, I guess Hastings has a road game, but in 2 weeks from now, that would have been a successful 3-pointer.
It certainly would have been. Wrong type of football, though, at least for this evening. 5 minutes left to go in this one. Hill Murray's definitely going to try to make it a 1-0 game here, but we will see.
Keep digging, Abby. Keep digging.
Vargas with the ball slightly. Give it back over to Zupfer. Luger with the ball. Torres coming in for the Warriors, trying to kick it down.
Be there, Abby. Be there.
Luger with the kick, and right to Potter. Again, every shot, the goalies have not been missing tonight.
No, both goalies have really been on point, and obviously, you know, coming into this game statistically, you could tell these are both good goaltenders, but you're really seeing it here tonight, live and in person.
Absolutely. 3.5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in this one.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of that shot there from Wagner was from about 33 yards out.
No, it was hard to tell there. You can't really waste much time right now, so you got to do everything you can. But taking a shot like that, obviously, you're taking a big risk for your team, and we got another one down. With that, just a bit over the goalpost once again.
Almost in the sweet spot there from Turinskas. And to make another cross-sport comparison, you know, the Warriors are so good, except for when they're in the red zone. When they're in that 20-yard line to the net, that's where they've really struggled. But they kind of put together a little successful operation here in the last minute here down low in the zone.
Absolutely. And they're going to keep trying with that. And Torres is coming in and almost had that one. Yeah, we're definitely seeing the drive from the Warriors here in the last few minutes. They're trying to keep it down in that red zone for them, but decent defense coming out for Hill Murray.
Well, you have less than 2 minutes here, so there's no point in passing it back anymore. Now it's just full offense here for both teams, and you just try to swing until somebody goes down.
And we'll see what happens here as the kick comes from Humbert, and Luger has the ball slightly, and now it is going to remain in Hill Murray possession, and they're going to definitely make the drive in the last minute and 30 seconds. Luger with the ball once again. Passing it back, and Hill Murray sticking with that strategy with the little bit of time they have remaining. And now it's the Warriors' ball. They're going to make a drive for it, that's for sure. And that's right to the goalie, Humbert. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. Another out-of-bounds kick. The Warriors are definitely not wasting their chances, especially when they're out in towards those 20-yard lines.
Come on, Green!
This could be it. And we got players down there. .38 seconds remaining. Hill Murray has possession. They got everything to go for this. Everyone is down there, except 2 players. Everyone's at least midfielder up.
Quite literally might come down to this play, just one shot.
Exactly. 17 seconds left to go. Overshot.
They're not going to have enough time.
They might. They got to do it real quick.
Time's going to run out
3,
here.
2, and that's game. Both teams end again, once again, in another tie. Back-to-back games ending in a tie for both teams. Certainly a frustration.
I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious, and just for the record here on Hastings Community TV, I blame you, Theo, for the announcer's jinx about 13 minutes into the game bringing up the ties.
You have to, man. It's their previous games. I wouldn't call it a complete jinx, but both teams coming on the field, so nothing is really gained. Hill Murray holds their first place lead, but that could change in the next game with the Hastings Raiders.
Well, yeah, I think how the points work out here is that's 2 points for Hill Murray, and then if Hastings wins, that's 3 points, so they could have a tie for the Metro East, and I think that's just how the season would end.
It's very likely what we're about to see here in the next few minutes. And that will do it for this evening's matchup between the Hill Murray Pioneers and Henry Sibley Warriors. On producing tonight, we had Hunter Pinky for Hastings Community Television. On announcing play-by-play is Theodore Tollefson, color commentary and Owen Ely, and camera operators are Kurt Radke and David Westlink.